And in other news, the jury in the Elliahs Dorsey trial is deliberating for a second day, deciding whether he was insane the day he shot and killed IMPD officer Breanne Leath.
But first, they heard additional arguments from the lawyers this afternoon. Our Rich Nye is outside the courtroom at the Marion County Community Justice Campus as we await a verdict. Rich, what do you know?
Dustin and Felicia, the jury deliberated for almost 10 hours last night before they told the judge they were at an impasse. So the judge agreed to send them home for the night at about 2 a.m. this morning. The jury was asking for more information about how they could decide whether Elliahs Dorsey understood the wrongfulness of his actions when he shot through the door of his girlfriend's East Side apartment, killing Breanne Leath on the other side. So at 1 p.m. this afternoon, the lawyers provided another 40 minutes of arguments. The defense asked the jury to pay attention to the multiple experts, medical experts, who supported the insanity defense.
You will have to decide for yourselves. But these experts know the law. They've seen patient after patient after patient. And you should consider what they have to say, all of the experts.
So I am asking you to call on your conscience, to call on your common sense, to call on your judgment. Recognize that you know the difference between right and wrong, and recognize that on April 9th, 2020, so did the defendant. And for that reason, you should find him responsible.
The prosecution is asking for a verdict of guilty but mentally ill, while the defense wants Dorsey to be found not responsible by reason of insanity. The jury resumed its deliberations about 2 o'clock this afternoon, so now Dustin and Felicia, over the past 2 days, this jury has been deliberating for about 12 hours.
And quick question for you, Rich. Is it just those two options that the jury is trying to decide, or do they have more that they need to go through?
Well, Dustin, that's not a quick answer. Actually, there are 6 options for just the murder charge. It starts with regular guilty or not guilty. They could completely ignore the issue of mental illness. As I said, the prosecution is asking for a guilty but mentally ill verdict, while the defense wants a verdict of not responsible by reason of insanity. But then there are 2 more options where the jury could decide that Dorsey is guilty but mentally ill of a lesser offense of reckless homicide, or they could just find him guilty, plain guilty, of reckless homicide. And again, that's just for the first count of murder. Those same kind of options apply to the 4 counts of attempted murder.
All right, lot to get to.
Yeah, as you could see, a lot of different options, things that could happen there.
We'll see you again at 5 and 6, Rich. Thank you.